And welcome back to the 2vement podcast. We are your hosts, Davey D and the Vengeful One. No, hello?
Hello? Hello.
Today we have a very special guest. Y'all know him from his notorious mega polls. We have Guersan Gaming on the show.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Yes, man. It's so good to have us sit down and chat with you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. Good day so far.
Is it warm enough for you where you are?
No, not so much. Well, it's not really cold, but like we had coldest day, so right now everything that melted is freezing, so it's ice everywhere.
That nice, wonderful ice.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in Arizona, it's about 80 degrees.
Everybody hates you right now.
You got to milk it while I can.
Be quiet.
I do it in the summer.
Yeah, man. So, go ahead,
Guersan. I gotta say, this is a really exciting podcast for both of us for sure, and a bunch of our listeners as well, because I think anybody who's watched anything on YouTube in this game has obviously come across your channel, and I think I started watching your videos around the same time we were in. I joined this faction, or maybe even before. But I got to say that especially in the early days, the content that you were putting on YouTube was one of the main reasons that I stayed playing this game. And as time went on, it's playing this game and watching your content on an almost daily basis is like an integral part of the experience of WWE champion. So on behalf of us and on behalf of everyone in 2vement, and all of our listeners, we just want to say thank you for all the work that you put into to entertain us over all these months.
Well, my pleasure. I wouldn't be doing it if nobody cared about it. I never planned to do it in the first place.
Really? You just up and decided one day you're going to just record?
Yeah, well, I mean, I never really planned for the channel to. I mean, back when I started, there wasn't any YouTube content on Champions. Nobody was streaming. Nobody was making any videos. There wasn't anybody. Like, I was making search, and the only two guys that had videos at three guys. There was Headlocks and Dropkick that was making stuff. Here and there.
Right,
there was Mike at Midnight that was doing some streaming about it, and there was External Void. And like Mike was actually my mentor in getting started over YouTube, because I couldn't find anything, and I was playing the game, and I can't play a game actively and not try to do my best about it. So obviously I started purchase shit, and and I was like, well,
the beginning of the end.
I'm getting stuff. Apparently there's people searching for it, probably because I was, and I couldn't find anything. So while I'm doing it, I may as well film it, and it picked up.
Oh wow!
And pick up it did.
But I didn't start a channel because I wanted to start a channel. I just started a channel because I was doing it, and so may as well film it and share it. And there was some interest, so it grew from there.
Well, what's interesting is that even though we're talking in the context of gaming and WWE champions, I've actually heard that same story from a lot of content creators and entrepreneurs in general, where it's not like I thought about what the world needed and I decided to fill it. It was more the fact that I was looking for something. It wasn't there. I figured I'd do it myself. And it's pretty amazing that something that can grow this vast starts with just such a simple premise, because the reality is a lot of people wish they had, let's say, a certain degree of success, but don't take the first step. And sometimes the first step is as simple as you're looking for something, it's not there, make it yourself. People.
Yeah. It's obviously a hell of a lot harder when you do it on something that already has a lot of content over there. Like I do also, I do supercard videos, and those are not nearly anywhere near as popular, even though there's huge supercard channels. Like I'm by far the biggest channel for champions. but and I got like less than 4,000 subs.
Wow.
For supercards, you have guys that have a lot of views and that are around 100,000 subs.
Wow.
So the size difference is pretty big.
That's significant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you first started recording for Champions, around what time frame did like growth just exponentially boom?
Well, ironically, about last month.
Really?
Really?
My stats from the last month are way bigger than anything I ever done.
Wow.
It's just, I don't know what I did the last month, except taking a couple days off for surgery. But my stats just went through the roof. Like I've been growing at a steady pace. Like my first 2,000 subs went about 100 every 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
And like my views, like I've been for the last 6-7 months, it's been about the same every month. Like I get like 200-300 new subs, and I get about from 50 to 70,000 views a month for the last 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
But the last month was like, and nothing like I've ever seen. Like for my last 28 days, I've had 162,000 views.
Wow.
Which is 22% of all my views from since I started, actually, because I got 740,000 views total since I started, and 162,000 are just this month.
Are you able to tell which part of the month it is? Because I wonder how much of it might correspond with
Anniversary.
The anniversary and the HBK release and the advertising that they put on WWE programming around that time.
It actually started about 2 weeks before that.
Oh, really?
I got the stats day to day every day. Like there's about like right now I got the stat up to 3 days ago, but I can see the stats from day to day. Like with first I thought, well, it's that major. It's probably due to the contest I did. That generated a lot of views. Ultimately, it's not even 20,000 out of those 162,000 views. So it's definitely not just that. That alone gave me about 200. But over the last month, like right now, I'm at 3.8K thousand subs. But over the last 28 days, I gained 1.3K.
Wow. That's insane.
That's 34% of my channel I gained over the last 28 days.
And that 34% of your channel completely missed on the long saga for TUF Rollins.
Yes and no, because a lot of my viewers and new viewers go look at my old stuff because they hear about it, and I have a very interactive audience. I get a lot of messaging. It's crazy. Like I answer about 300 messages a day.
Holy.
Whether it's online, Discord, emails, YouTube.
Jeez.
I answer over. Well, when I say 300, I'm probably not counting the YouTube comments. It's probably way more than that. But just my line is. I check line about once a day because it's 2 hours when I do.
That's crazy, man.
I have wouldn't say a phobia, but I have a habit that I cannot not answer someone.
Okay,
I get a message, I got to answer.
Just let it be known to whoever's listening to this, who follows Guersan's content, this man is a grinder. He works. This is not just, I'm recording my video and just throw it up on YouTube. This guy's been working his ass off for months to grow his channel to the point of where it is right now. I just like to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it was a slow growth, a slow and steady growth.
So,
but I mean, it's pretty big by champion standard, but it's very, very, very small in the YouTube scope of things.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're talking about channels with 100K plus, those are out there, But at the same time, I wonder as the game continues to evolve and mature and pick up more gamers. It's possible you might get some more.
Yeah, well, I got viewers from all ages, and like I got viewers from 96 countries. That's wow. pretty. I got very unusual viewers from usual YouTube content, you could say. Like 55% of the views that I'm getting are not from subscribers.
Like from where?
So not even half my views are from subscribers.
Really?
I get like over half of my views are people just searching my name on YouTube.
Just searching your name.
You've become infamous.
I get more views from people searching Guersan than views from people searching champions.
That's fascinating. That is fascinating.
So I guess the word of mouth goes from something.
That's really what it is. You're just a celebrity now.
But then again, I mean, I'm fairly small as far as YouTube goes. I'm very big as far as the game goes. Like I think the biggest channel after me is about not even a third of my size. But I mean, in the big scope of things, I'm very minimal part of YouTube. Like I got, but then again, like I got not even 4,000 subs, but I get over 160,000 views. And for instance, if you compare, I'm not going to give names, but if you check for because I speak with a lot of other content creators for different other content and other games. If I take like one guy from Supercard that has 100,000 subscribers, he got 100,000 views. 120,000 views. So I got 40,000 more views than he does with just 4,000 and he has 100,000. So I get 1.5 times his views for 4% of his viewers.
Right.
Quick question. Which country was, I guess you could say, the most unexpected subscription you would say? Like you wouldn't expect them to be into champions?
UK are 7.8%. That's there's like I got 40% of my views are from US.
Yeah.
20% are from India. And India is very, very high on the WWE content in general.
Yeah, that's true.
They're really, really high on sending comments as well.
asking you for
Indian
money.
Players are about 60% of the total comments I get on any platform.
Oh wow!
I think actually that's probably consistent with the stats from our YouTube channel too.
Yeah, and about 89% of the hacking requests as well.
This is so true, bruh. I can't tell you how many comments I delete on our YouTube. How to hack game? How to hack game? Boy, just grind.
I get about 100 of those a day.
God, it's so annoying.
As an Indian myself, that
and hacking accusations.
Hacking accusations, yes, of course, because why would you hack after
those
spending
piss me off?
How many? Yeah,
I'm pretty hard to piss off, but I hate getting accused of hacking. I mean, I always tell them I'd have to be the biggest dumbass on the earth to post my hacking stuff on the world's biggest social platform for everyone to see. When the official game account retweets my stuff, like my stuff, talk with me, and I mean, I think they know what I buy and what I get for it. I think they would have known by now if I was hacking. I mean, they even posted themselves on the Twitter on people that were telling I was hacking. They replied saying that I'm not hacking.
I remember that. I think that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that was from a guy, actually the only guy that ever apologized. That was accusing me of hacking when I did the upgrade of Big John Stud because I had a lot of tokens from him. He later apologized like a week or two later when I did the pull video and I got a lot of Big John Stud tokens. And he said, "Damn, it's true. You do get a lot of those."
It's sad to me because it's not just a function of what happens in this game. I think it's pretty common in our society these days. When people have a certain level of success in whatever realm, it's much easier to dismiss and say they must have had a shortcut, they have some unfair advantage, woe is me. But when you look at the people that, if you really start to dissect, what makes people successful in whatever walk of life it is, if they're a sports player, an entrepreneur, an inventor, whatever the case may be, you start realizing that it's not so much about the circumstances that they have, but rather the circumstances that they create. You know, what are the routines and habits that go into developing to being in that position? So yes, you have a lot of tokens. Okay, well, instead of saying, he must be hacking, if you took a step back and said, okay, what are the different ways that you could start to acquire those tokens? And if one of them is, okay, well, buy token bags, that kind of thing, right? Instead of saying, well, I can't do that. Well, what if there were other ways? What if you started, if nothing else, if your job can't do it, you work on a side hustle or something and make a little money on the side that you would then invest into the game. Yeah. Whatever the case may be, but I just see it way too often where people just dismiss what's possible for themselves, and they really don't give themselves a chance because they're too busy hating on somebody else for their success, when in reality, anybody could do it. It just takes doing taking those same actions, but it's hard work, and that's just something that a lot of people aren't willing to do anymore.
Yeah, it's all this game is all about having realistic expectations. I mean, if you're a free player, which is fine. Well, if you're a free player and you play a couple times a day for maybe an hour total, you can't really expect to have the same account as someone that plays 12 hours a day, whether it's a free player or not.
Right.
I mean, it's just like everything. I mean, if you don't play the same amount, unless you're really damn lucky, there's no way you're going to be able to compete with someone that plays 20 times what you do.
Well, and I'll also say, even as far as the luck is concerned, yes, do we know the people that on a free pull got, we talked to Jerichoholic in the last podcast, and, he went 20 some odd 30 pulls with nothing, right? But at the same time, on one T-shirt pull, he got the Acrobat Macho Man, right? Incredible, right? Yeah. But the thing is that it's easy for somebody to say, "Oh, guy, you got Macho Man pull." What about all those failed attempts? And it's easy to dismiss somebody as being lucky, but you also have to acknowledge that, especially in a game where the odds are so low, the more opportunities you give yourself, the more chance that you're going to get, some high level character that you're trying to go after. But you're right. It is so much about the expectations, because if you want to be a free to play player, yes, it's going to be slower, right? And you have to be a lot more strategic with who you level up. But there are actually a lot of incredible characters in this game that are readily available, like Bray Wyatt and Stardust and, that kind of thing. And it's, we even have somebody in our faction who's not 100% free to play, but he's pretty close to it. If I remember correctly, I don't think any of the money he's actually spent, or much of the money he's actually spent, actually netted, any significant character. But he just been grinding from day one, and he got his first 3-star gold at the last Enhance event. And but it's just true. Like, you either, like, when we take a lot of pride in mentoring our players, the ones who join us and want to grow their roster efficiently. And I always say, you either pay a lot, or you play a lot, or both. It's that simple.
Let's say the $10 monthly stuff that give you a couple, because a free player is going to be able to achieve a lot of success because there's a lot of free characters you can easily get, or at least get them through the premium pulls that you do get free while just playing the limited tours and stuff. So you can get some of the best characters in the game without even spending. It's going to be a little trickier for some of the MP trainers, because obviously all of those are available through free purchases, but still you'll be able to get quite high. But yeah, you do require to play a lot to get all those tokens to get them up, and you got to be intelligent with the little amount of cash you get and use it like for 1250 bags if you intend of getting them for on gold and things like that, because otherwise there's barely any chance you'll ever get any of those gold without being a paying player at some point. So if you don't plan on spending money, or plan on spending just a little money, be careful where you do spend it.
Yeah,
for sure. And speaking of where you spend money. Obviously, megapole videos are a huge part of your channel's success. We've talked about it offline.
Never picked up.
Right? So how do you personally balance growing your channel with the megapole content, with the obvious cost associated with those megapoles?
Yeah, well, like over the past few months, I'm trying to drop them down like less and less polls for two reasons. First, I really don't need those characters much anymore. I got pretty much all I need or could ever need. So there's really no point in me making any polls whatsoever unless they come up with new MP trainers like Jordan, things like that. Second of all, it gets freaking expensive down the road, and I just can't hold that for much longer.
You know what's funny to me?
I gotta put up more and more content that is not polls.
Yeah.
But being that it's not the most popular stuff, again, it's all about having realistic expectations for everything in life. Like when I do for instance, the daily heroic limited tour videos, I know that probably 60-70% of the channel don't give a shit about those videos and are not gonna watch them. But I do have a lot of people that do like to watch them. So I still do those. And those are the longest video. Like, I could do 5 other videos and it would take me less time than do that one limited tour. And I know that one is probably going to have under 600 views down the line. But I do those because people care for those. And for me, it's more stuff going online, more chance to get views through other content, shared through others. I mean, the more videos I post, it's more visibility, more chances of having people discovering me, stuff like that. And if nobody was looking at them, I wouldn't be doing them. But there is some people, like, if it gets 600 views, it's because 600 people care to go view it.
Yeah. Well, plus the other thing is, at least with the limited tours, you are going to play those tours regardless.
Yeah.
So it's not like, recording that 30-minute video is either that's going to happen or you're going to have 30 minutes to do something else.
Yeah. Well, that's true and false, though, because those limited tour video are the ones that screw up my days the most as well.
Right, because they take so much time.
Well, not so much that. Well, they do take more. They do take time to edit.
Right.
But because I take out all the loadings, and there's a lot of during.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But, but it's also that I got to record it. So it's just not something like just playing here and there. I got to be in front of my computer. I got to have like 20 minutes to do it. I got to be able to record it. I can't be upstairs playing with my kid when I do it because I got to be in front of the computer recording it. So I got to have a dedicated amount of time to do that. And that's why I really often do it in the last hour of the day.
Right. Well, okay. I think that's a really important point, that even those videos that might be one of the lesser popular ones on the channel, you're spending you're having to schedule time to do that, whereas the rest of us kind of take it for granted and do the same recurring LT tour that happens every day that they don't change from day to day, and we're doing it on the toilet. You can't do that.
Yeah. My most popular videos are the ones that are the easiest to do, and my least populars are the most time consuming.
Right.
I think what it is everyone just vicariously pulls through you. They can't do it, so let's just watch Guersan do it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the big comments I've been getting. I can't afford to do those, but I love watching you do it.
One of the
which I often reply, "You're so damn cruel," because you enjoy to see me fail over and over.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so funny.
One of the funny things I like to see in your mega poll videos, you're like, okay, guys, this is my final poll. And then like 6 polls later, okay, this is my final poll. It's like, he doesn't know what final means. That's the
problem with the gambling addictions. Yeah. So it happens to me quite often. Like, I'm not going to do more than 1 or 2. Here's the 32nd.
Right.
Without fail. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is something that I've wanted to ask you for a while too, because as a viewer, obviously and somebody that's done polls as well. There's the emotional ups and downs, right? And I will say there have been obviously more videos than are the downs because there's the odds of the game. But I remember many videos just kind of watching your face, as you open up that Mark Henry posters and whatnot, where it's just you just see the pain on your face, and and then the flip side of it is pulling Bobby Roode and falling out of your chair. But but I really want to know, take us into the mind of Guersan. How do you handle the emotional ups and downs that come from the mega polls?
Well, I try mainly to go in believing that I'm not going to get anything out of that and that it's a total waste of money. That's usually what I go in expecting.
That's realistic.
I rarely ever get anything out of it. So that's like, you're usually going to see my face like that when I get characters like Henry, for instance, or Big Show, stuff like that. Character that I just get annoyed getting. But I'm usually like, I get messages like, why are you not really pissed or screaming or requesting refunds? And why are you not more annoyed that you're not getting anything? It's because I go in not expecting anything. I'm happy when I do get something, but when I don't get anything, I got what I expected. So
it's
that's
true.
what I only have myself to slap on. Like it's not like I can scream at them like, "Oh, your odds are shitty," and I didn't get anything for my money. Well, didn't advertise I would, and I knew going in I was more likely not going to get it. So
yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
At them.
It's funny because I think a lot of players who haven't done the 30 polls, they have this magical idea that if you can spend on a 30 poll, you're going to get that character.
Nope.
No, not even close to being true. But it's, I would say now that you say that, now I think about it, in the last couple months, the failed polls, you seem to handle it really well. And I think it's what you just said. You go in with that expectation. I was thinking a little bit more, so the well-documented saga of getting Undisputed Future Seth Rollins when you were in the 20s, that was where, I really noticed, like, obviously you're expecting to not get anything, but at the same time, it's like, come on, how many times is it going to take?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not only well documented in the community, but it is well documented at Scopely as well. They were following my polls for Seth.
Oh my gosh!
I would love to know.
I was getting mail
and
messages from Eric when I was doing polls with Seth saying, "Oh man, I can't believe you're not getting it," and I know it was submitted to them that. Like, as I mentioned many times, like there should be like a pity poll system or something that every time you don't get something out of polls, you get a small percentage increase that you may get it.
That would make sense.
So that maybe you can't go over 15, let's say, without getting it or something like that. And I know it was subject of many discussions over there. Yes.
Well, I know because I can't imagine.
It's probably going to be the biggest argument overall, but.
I can't imagine that's a good look going 30 plus polls and not getting a guy. Like that's not good marketing.
Yeah, no. And you see that's one of my arguments as well when people accuse me of not paying for my polls and getting them free. Every time I say, do you even watch my channel? I mean, I never get anything. I barely ever get anything out of those polls. Do you really think it's good publicity for them to give me free polls of not getting anything? Do you really think that's gonna motivate people it's really gonna motivate people into making buys, seeing me not get anything?
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I look at that and I just say that it just shows how messed up the odds are, though, because I remember when it used to be 3-star bronze megas. That's 0.5% versus 3-star silver is 0.3%. Doesn't sound like much, but it really is. And when they did the Shango Mega for Black Friday, that was a 3-star gold, but it was 0.1%. Like, it's the odds of you getting it are so low. And I don't know, obviously, the financials behind it, what the financial models are, but I'd have to think that if there was a way to give a little bit more value, or like you said, a pity pool system, I think maybe that's what they were trying to do with Macho Man Shango Mega that they did a few weeks ago for the anniversary.
Yeah, I had a very different opinion than people on that one.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Well, people were the first thing that came out when they did. People were outraged that you got to pay $400 to get in.
Right.
The way I see it is, it's the first time I'm actually getting guaranteed something for my money.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was
I'm used to spending thousands, not getting in. So I mean, for me, it's the first time that I'm guaranteed to not pay over $400 for something.
Yeah, I just wish it would have. If that guarantee was maybe more of a top tier character, I think that would have been, or ideally the one you were actually going after, that would have taken it to another level. But I thought it was a step in the right direction. But that'd be something that I think would need to happen for every Mega, not just some occasional release. But I actually thought at first, wow, that's a weird thing to. I think the wording on it could have been improved, but I think the thought process behind it was actually pretty sound compared to the status quo.
Yeah, we're probably not going to see it in a while because of a couple of screw ups that happened with that, notably with the Dean Ambrose. that people like it. The wording was sent to people that it shouldn't have, and it was different tier depending on your roster, whether you were getting Shango or Ambrose, but everyone got the info on everything, so everything got confused.
Right.
So that didn't help. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be a while before we see something like that again.
Probably. But I actually, what did you think of the anniversary coin style of polls? Obviously, the odds. I did the numbers. The odds of getting somebody like a Razor Ramon were still very low as compared to the dollar spent, about equivalent or worse even. But the pack was large enough that you still had a good chance of getting somebody new. And you could say, you know what, I only want to go $20 into this, and whatever I get. Whereas, 30 pull is more. So what did you think of the whole anniversary system, and would you prefer seeing that as the default way?
Probably. I mean, I think it was the most incredible things for free players up to medium spenders.
Yeah.
Not that great for the huge spenders.
Why is that?
Well, if you take me, for instance, I did 307 pulls on those total, which probably ends up somewhere around $500 or something, or more. I don't even count these days. It's too depressing. And I didn't really get any of the guys I really wanted. I got 6 new guys total, which probably were the 6 weakest out of those I could get. I think I could get, there was 18 guys, I think, that I could get out of those that I did not have. I got 6 of those, and it was the 6 weakest. So the good guys I wanted, like Jinder, for instance, not because I want to use him, but I want to have him as an option for trap users as a trainer, and $1 Million Man that I wanted for a farmer, I didn't get. I did get Braun Strowman that I really wanted, but he was also a 1-star, so he's going to be useless forever, because even if I get him 3-star gold, there's going to be 2 Aldo star, and he's going to be worthless. So.
Well, I don't know, actually. Since his for at 3 stars, typically you want guys that are going to have as much health, but mainly as much gem damage as possible. But he's a showboat that doesn't win on gem damage, unlike say Piper or Andre. Those guys win on gem damage. But with protect gems, because I found I just recently took Harlem Heat Booker T to 3-star gold, and really, he's not winning because of gem damage. He's winning because once he puts up the protect gems, nobody's kicking out. And I think Braun is going to be similar, that even if he's got 2 hollow stars, the fact that with his finisher, he puts down protect gems, and then with Booker T, it's going to be more protect gems if you have him training, or Kalisto for more protect damage protection. I think as long as you can get the moves off, you should still be able to win, even with the 2 hollow stars. I think it's more of a function of, that's a lot of tokens to get him up there to 3
Yeah,
star.
I'll probably get him up to 3-star silver. I'm probably gonna stop there. But I mean, the step from a full 3-star to a 3-star that has 1 hollow star is not that big, because my cast has 1 hollow star. There's nothing I can do with it. And so that step ain't that big, but from a full 3-star up to a 1-star upgraded with 2 hollow star, it's kind of a big step up there.
Yeah, but I wonder, even given that, since he's a protect gem guy, I don't know if it'll make that much of a difference. Whereas for the people that got, let's say, that 1-star Finn Balor, right? And you take him up, and he's 100% based on gem damage. Granted, he's a striker, so he's got that advantage, but the 2 hollow stars of that Finn Balor versus that would be a much more significant
health and damage. But a big part of Braun, other than his obvious protect gem values, is still his HP as a showboat too.
That's also true.
And it's also, if he gets pinned, he's going to be in a world of problems, because since he's 2 hollow stars, his chance of getting out of that pin is even worse than a regular.
Absolutely. Very true.
That's my main issue with him. The moves, he's going to be as good as a full one. It's to counter and survive that he's going to have issues way more than so probably good to day-to-day stuff, or even survival matches and things like that, but like probably not one. You probably couldn't use him as a reliable defense on Versus, for instance.
That's true. That's very true. So going back to Rollins, just to round that out, I mean, I watched every single video on that whole journey for however many months that took, from the first one to the last one. And I've seen how elated you've gotten, let's say, obviously Bobby Roode is a big one, right? You know, George Steele, you were really happy with. Also, the reaction that you got on your live stream when you finally pulled Seth Rollins after months was a little different from my perspective. And I would love to know, what was the emotions that you were feeling when you finally got him?
Well, at that point, I didn't really want him as bad as I wanted when I started, because my first pull for him was on April 26th. And I did end up getting him on November 28th.
8 months later. Wow.
Yeah, so that was a long journey. By then, I never expected to get him. I mean, he was the guy I was never going to be able to get, but keep trying like a dumbass. So I really didn't expect to get him. So it was mostly shocked. And if you like, there is a couple seconds delay before I actually react when I get him on that last video, because it's like, did that really just happen?
yeah. Delayed gratification.
Yeah, as opposed to, let's say, when I got George or even Bobby Roode, which was shock at first sight, because that's like really early, way earlier than I expected anything like that to happen. Like George, I got on my 5th pull, I think. Bobby was my first or second, maybe. No, I think it was on the first pull.
I think it was the first, yeah.
So I mean, when I get pulls early with my first or second pull, I'm always shocked. Like, oh, what the hell? I just like. Again, I go in thinking I'm not going to get anything. So when I get something and that fast, I'm just surprised. While I'm trying for a guy that I've been trying over and over and over, I'm kind of just lost hope at that point. So it's kind of weird for Seth for that.
So yeah, and I was also wondering, like, when I was watching at a certain point, I don't know if I remember thinking, might have been around maybe 15 onward. Like, or maybe it was around the time that you took Finn Balor to 3-star gold. And I was thinking, at this point, does it even matter getting this guy? Because, you know, you'd have to take Lawler off of Balor.
Yeah, that's about when I started. Like from that point out, I didn't do as much pulls as I used to try to get him from the moment I got Finn, because I knew that the moment I was getting him, Finn was going to be useless, or only used if he was required. But then again, they're both raw, so I don't see really a requirement. Maybe like for a class requirement or something that I may use my Finn over him, but other than that.
Well, you also don't know. I mean,
anymore.
They'll probably do another superstar shakeup if one of those guys ends up on SmackDown. That, you know, it could become. But still, I think the reason Finn obviously has a lot more damage potential, similar to Wyatt. But I think why I like Seth Rollins the most is when you get a bad board, he can still work his way out of it. You know, you can match the green, you can, you know, take away from the other guy, you know, and that's where he gives you options. Whereas if you don't have that blue match with Balor to start, I mean, you could put in that green move also, but it's not the same.
Well, I was kind of using my Finn that way as well. I never used the setup for Finn with the finisher. I always used the green move instead of the finisher for Finn as well, just so I wouldn't get screwed by a bad board and add the green option as well. So I play set the way I was playing Finn.
Right.
Also with the green move as an option.
So you have how many characters on your roster, give or take?
106, I think.
106 characters. Who of your 106 characters, and this doesn't have to be because, you know, they can be at any level, and it doesn't have to be because they're, you know, a meta character or not. Who is your favorite character to play with?
For the longest time, it was both Finn and Cass. Now it is Seth Rollins and Brock.
Striker Brock?
Yeah, Seth Rollins and Brock. Ironically, the two best characters in the game, but
yeah.
But the character I use the most is still Big Cass, because
he's so fast.
He's the one I can get done things really, really fast. It doesn't like Seth is very, very useful, but the move animations are long, and the fact that you got to pick where you put the things are also taking a lot of time. Like Cass, you do still have to pick where you put them, but you put it either in a V or a straight line. So
it's a little bit easier.
You only have to think that at some point I gotta have one where it can connect.
Right.
So it's still pretty fast. So I use Big Cass for all my daily stuff. I know a lot of, like Brian, he uses Enzo for everything because he never uses any health packs. I could do that as well. My Endo is gold, but he's long. It takes a while
Enzo
to get
takes
shit
a while.
done.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't use health packs for my daily tours either. I just use a guy. You know, I might use Ultimate Warrior, drive him down to 0 health. That's it. You know, and then I'll just wait a day. But Enzo is a lot of fun, but it just takes so long. I just finally got Cass to 3-star gold myself, so, and Rusev to 5,000. So finally getting that choose 6 blast gem going, and I definitely see like his animations are quick. He can do a lot of clearing out the board pretty quickly. But when I need when I'm playing the daily tours and I'm doing something else and I'm just trying to chug through it without thinking too much, I actually prefer Wyatt, because I just, you know, the black gems will just take care of everything. Pretty much.
Yes. Well,
that's it.
Before my Cass was maxed, Finn was the guy I was using for everything.
Yeah. It's just like a no-brainer way of playing. But I think also after watching Compy's videos more, I've grown a little bit more affinity to playing with guys that require a bit more cerebral approach. So I really love Kalisto 3-star gold. He is so much fun to use because you just recycle his moves, and it's so much fun. That and Booker T, Harlem Heat. There's just something about like the guy's got 80% of his health left, and you lay down the protect gems, and he has no way of kicking out.
Two good characters that I have and never even tried a single time.
What?
So, both of them, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're missing out. You gotta get those guys.
That's your homework for today.
Both really low. My Booker is still he's level 1.
What?
and he's 2-star silver.
Oh man, yeah. No, I mean that's where I got him. The first player's choice last summer, and for the longest time I couldn't
start working on. He's 2-star gold by now, and he's level 50.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still far from there. Like I was leveling him mainly to be my farmer, but I'm having a hard time getting 4-star tokens for acrobats. So IRS is going to take a step ahead of him to be my farmer.
Yeah. Oh, because you bought all of those packs for when you got the eventual UF Seth.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. Circling back to the community, with all the survey videos you've done requesting input for features, what would be some of the top features you would like to see implemented in the game?
Probably some of the not so usual ones you keep hearing, because everyone always says, well, we want women, we want hell mode, we want 4 stars. I think those never really need to be mentioned because they're obvious and they've known for a year.
Mm-hmm.
We want those. They never need to be mentioned in any request for features video ever. But like things like a prestige or VIP system would be something that is still to this day weird they haven't done, because they did like a couple games ago I was playing their other game from Scopely, the Walking Dead Road to Survival game, and they did implement a prestige system in there, and Eric was actually part of the team that implemented that from that game back then as well. And that would be something nice. Obviously that's often a touchy issue, because that's a feature that paying player loves and not paying players hate.
What is that?
Because it's another advantage for the paying players.
So I know what a prestige system might look like in, say, Call of Duty, but how would it look like in this game?
Well, they would need to make it fairly weak, because normally you don't want those to have really a big factor in the big scope of thing. It would probably need to be something like a very maybe 2,000-3,000 coins depending on your rank on it. Not have it cash in it. Maybe like tokens, TPs, coins, but small amount of them, and it goes it increase as you level up, but never anything too powerful, because you don't want it to break the game or be that big of a difference whether you have it or not. But it was pretty cool in Road to Survival, because you did get, but there was more options to think to it was reducing training for buildings and things like that, reducing time to do stuff. You could probably have it, maybe if your prestige is higher, you regen more HP per hour, something like that.
Something like that, that'd be cool. But I think even like you said, having more, let's say, coin P resources, because I think one of the things that always makes me chuckle when you talk to a player that is newer and is kind of working in the 2-star world is anytime they get a coin reward, it's like, coins, but any of us,
that's my favorite rewards.
I know, it's like, please give me more. I never have. And then, especially when you get into 3-star silver and gold, like TP is it's so hard to come by to have enough of it when you're working on multiple characters. So it would be cool having a system where it kind of scales with you, because I think that's what's kind of one of the things that's kind of missing is rewards that kind of scale based on the extent and depth of your roster.
Yeah, I keep getting again, many times a day I get people sending me screenshots of their roster and telling me what they should work on and things like that, and I always look at it and I got 3 pages of screenshot, and all 3 pages say max on the character, because they max their level on it.
Right.
I mean, it's understandable that free players really max out their characters because they have a hard time getting the tokens and TPs to actually enhance them and but as a paying player that have very, very a lot of options on who to increase, seeing that many max character, I'm almost jealous of the fact they max out their characters and I can't. I don't have the coins, TPs, and tokens to do that.
I think I have a whole page on my roster of unleveled guys.
Yeah, a big thing also that I suggested as far as new things to implement that I actually never saw mentioned anywhere else is a way to promote the use of, like, to force us to use not while selecting characters in particular, but a way to motivate us to use different characters, like the way they implemented gear system for one. They almost abandoned it. There's barely anything about it other than sometime when you pull a guy, you can pull him with his attire. They barely anything, but something they could have done would be like a second type of leveling of a character. Like the more you play with it, there's another kind of XP that over time, while playing it with it, you're gonna unlock you're gonna unlock his attire. And I mean, they can make it that you don't get any bonus from the attire. I mean, most of them are already pretty terrible. What you get, like plus 50 damage, who cares? That gem is doing 5,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of the advantage are not doing that much already, but they could make it that they don't do anything at all. But you unlock different attire by playing with those characters. I mean, I got a big roster, but I use 2 guys.
Right.
So
right.
I never touched the other guys, but I'd be motivated to use other guys if I was getting something out of leveling those guys.
What about
that's
that'd
true.
Be a
that's
pretty cool feature.
I definitely think so. I try to do that with the daily class tours. Like if I'm fighting against tricksters, then I'll try to use strikers that day. But just the ones that I don't normally use. Let's say Jim Neidhart or something. But
I never bother with classes.
But it's just like you're playing the same thing anyway. There's no real motivation to take Bray for a spin and clear this out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's all about speed.
Yeah.
Like when I often get asked when I do my videos, my limited tour videos, why don't you use like your weaker guys and things like that? Well, speed has one thing to do with it. It's not fun for me spending 10 turns on a fight I could get done in 2.
Yeah, and that's time.
Also, it's usually not fun for people to watch me like use a character that they could be using themselves and like struggle with it. That usually is not going to be that entertaining of a video. Also, people usually one of the big reasons that some of those tours get some views is that they get to see characters they don't normally get to use themselves.
Yeah.
So I try to use mainly megas, but also mainly guys that aren't actually leveled. Because like I try sometimes, like I'm going to use KO, things like that, but I don't have any trainers on those guys. So it takes me forever. And then you fight again as like submission guys really pisses me off. Especially when I use guys that don't have any trainers on them. Because those fights never ends. I know I'm not going to lose, but I know I'm here for a while.
Well, I think also I don't mind spending more time on a fight if it's like a one-time thing, but when it's Darren Young B1 on the Acrobat Tour every week, it's just like, But if it was, I finished the tour months ago. If there were more tour levels and, we had less of a reason to, like if it's tour level, I didn't really mind, grinding it out.
I'm not even done with the road.
You're not even, what?
No.
Where are you on the road?
Not anywhere near that thing.
Do you know how many coins are in the road?
Yeah. Well, my main issue is that I got to level guys like DDP and Harper to unlock their hard version.
Well, yeah, but
I don't have the resources for weaklings.
I've skipped those. The Luke Harper early enough that went back, at least back when they used to do the Champions Boost. I pulled the fuse for him for 2-star bronze, and he's sitting at whatever level 1000. But when they had a Champions Boost one week, I think for Powerhouse Week, I went in and with some props cleared that level. But the ones like DDP and Striker, Undertaker, those are for the higher levels of or actually it's in hard mode in
Superstars,
Superstar Tour for freaking Victory Bag 2. So I just skip that. So if Hell Mode ever comes out, then I'll worry about it then. But there's a lot of levels there that can still be had, and I wish I could go back and win a match and get 90,000 coins. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'm missing 50 stars in the European Tour, and I'm missing 18 in the Superstar Tour.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of missing stars because it's not like I went back and 3-starred a match, if on hard mode. Yeah. But yeah, it would be nice if Hell Mode, everybody always asks for it, but I wouldn't even mind if they just added more stages to the tour.
Yeah.
And made them challenging and with some good rewards. I think that's something about the game that I kind of miss from months ago. I remember, just playing a bunch of levels and saying, "Oh, I'm stuck here. I can't go any further." And then you work on your roster, and then you come back and you clear it easily. And that's
I actually hate that. I don't like seeing something in front of me and I can't access it. That's so annoying to me.
Yeah, yeah. I need Harper. I need the DDP. I need Rock, and I need the Undertaker, Striker to be leveled to be able to complete those few nodes I'm missing. And it's just characters that I can't justify putting resources in.
Right.
Oh yeah. Those I skip, but pretty much I think everything through Summer Showdown I've gotten to all the hard modes. It's just Superstar. There's on hard. There's a few of those nodes that have those stupid requirements that there's no chance in hell.
Yeah, missing a few, but no, I'll probably do it down the line. I just have so many characters on the back burner go before those guys.
Who's your
I know Rock I'll be leveling at some point because I need him to be maxed out for my Enzo to begin with.
Right. So he's your next project, or you have someone else in line?
Well, right now my priority is my Luger from the last faction feud.
Mm-hmm.
Because my Enzo is not currently used by any character as a trainer, so that's the best guy I could possibly have him on. So Luger is going to be a priority, although I don't have the five 4-star tokens required to get him gold yet. I think I got two or three for the powerhouses, so I'm pretty far from those 5. But he's going to be one guy, and as well. After that, it's probably going to be maxing out a few trainers that I do use on my main guys, like Rock, for instance, for Enzo. But then again, everyone's always using Enzo Blitz, so there's more and more Blitz that you can't use him. Like
yeah.
Like this one, yeah.
So he's not that priority anymore because I'm never going to use Enzo for a feud. I barely ever use him to do anything in the game overall, so I don't really. That's why I haven't maxed out his trainers because I barely use them anymore because they always have ways for us to not use him for Blitz, and that is only used for me Blitz.
Yeah, that's true. It's but I just have this worry that I'm gonna start working on all these trainers, and then all of a sudden 4-stars are gonna come out. I have no tokens for anything.
Yeah, that's why I want to stay with. Normally, I try to level a guy gold once I get to 10 4-star tokens, unless it's a guy I really, really want right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna try. Like I don't need any other gold guys. I got more than I should. Well, more than I need, and I got some that should not be 4-star. That should not be gold. That are gold. So like my Brock Lesnar, which I'm never gonna use again. Or
yeah, I mean, I
set NXT. Never gonna use him again either.
Yeah, the powerhouse Brock Lesnar. He was the first mega I ever pulled, so I kind of felt, a duty to take him to 3-star gold. He was my best powerhouse for the longest time, though.
Well, when I did get him gold, he was the best powerhouse in the game at that. So obviously, then it later went with Cass and Warrior and Luger. He was the best powerhouse when I got him gold.
And
That's why I
realistically,
got him
even
gold
with
in the first place.
when you have Enzo and Barrett on him, he's not slow by any means, but yeah, they're definitely better options now. It's different ways the game goes.
Yep.
So, what is next for the YouTube channel for Guersan's Gaming?
Well, the one thing I'm going to be working on now, I always try to increase the production value of what I do.
Mm.
Like every now and then I add something up to my everyday channel, to my everyday video. Like if you go all the way back, I didn't have a webcam, and then webcam was asked because people wanted to see my face. So I purchased a webcam, so I had that. Then I had the DTH MCHN from Wolfpack Elite. He redid my whole design from my videos, and then I got a new logo and redid all my artwork, and then I purchased a WWE T-shirt so I wouldn't be wearing tank tops for every video.
I remember that.
So that had two use, that T-shirt. It looked more professional because I didn't look like I was filming from a trailer park, and second of all, you couldn't see when I was posting stuff out of order anymore.
That's a
smart.
good point. Nice.
Because sometimes a few people in there saw when I was post, because sometimes I'm going to film a whole bunch of videos and then edit them and then post them over 2-3 days, things like that. And sometimes you could see the swap in shirts going back and forth. So now you can't see that because I got a shirt just for videos.
Nice.
So that was the second use for that. Then around Christmas, I added a green screen.
I noticed, yeah.
I can play with that now. Like mainly, there's not going to be anything on it for holidays. I had one with snowflakes, and when I'm doing teamworks with other guys, or like we're doing right now here, but when I do it over video with something in the background. Like when I did my prediction video with Brian, I had the Royal Rumble stage behind me with pyro and stuff like that. So
that's
that's
pretty cool.
one thing I added. Recently, I changed my intro video for something that was more professional, with flaming logo and everything, instead of a generic one from a free website that generates one for you.
Yeah, man. See, all of these are the little steps towards success and growth that people take for granted. I mean, go ahead.
And they all cost way more than a month of revenue from YouTube.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah. And the next thing that I'm going to be changing, that I have planned, is an animated background. Like right now, the little circuit board that is the background of everything I do, I want to have it animated, like
with lights moving and stuff.
Not very, very much heavy animated, but just randomly here and there, just to say that it's not static, like a current circulating through your circuits, something like that. That's the next, and I'm going to use that for everything. This week I started working on trying to make my Supercard and Champions video visually a little different. Like I changed the thumbnails for my Champions video. Not the Champions, but the Supercard videos. Now the back is more dark red instead of gray, and the Guersan's logo is white instead of red on those. And the text actually has how can I say in English? A textured on it that makes the text a little different than the one from Champions. So visually, you can see that they're different, other than just the color of the text that I do to make.
That's smart, yeah.
Up. So and I'm gonna try to move that red focus to the the artwork inside the video as well for the framework and the artwork around the videos. That's something I'll probably do next week or so. But yeah, the fact that the back is animated is probably the next thing I'll pay to have done.
Very cool, man. We're about to close out, but there's something that has been a long-running issue of debate within the faction. For Vengeful, it is a fact, and for me, it is fiction. Is it true that at one point in time you were a member of 2vement?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
I got a screenshot, man.
Fiction!
Well, I know there's a lot of Guersans.
No, it was the only. Okay, so I have it here from May 9th, 2017. We had a Guersan from the game. It was just Guersan from the our faction screen, and it left, and that account left the faction in the game. We were still in the Discord channel, so I just wanted to make sure that this person was gone before I removed them from our Discord. So I sent a message, "Hey Guersan, just to confirm, did you leave the faction in WWE Champions?" Didn't hear back. Like, okay, fine. Then later on, like in August, I went to message you, Guersan's Gaming, just to mention something about a YouTube video. And when I go and pull up your ID, I see the previous message from May. I'm like, holy crap, this guy was in our faction.
I need to see that.
I got the screenshot. I'll send it to you guys. But this is a long
in order.
time.
What I can remember, the first faction I was ever in was Drinky Clan NXT, which I just randomly joined. It's when I started playing, and that's a random faction I joined. I moved up to Drinky Clan, which then became Divine Judgment, which then a lot of leadership left and went to Haven, including me. Then I moved up to Creep Squad, and then to Execution.
Nice.
That's about what I remember from my...
No mention of 2vement.
I don't remember it.
I got to see this screen. I got to make sure it wasn't photoshopped.
No,
And
it's not
I'd be curious to see the time period and compare with my videos, and if you see the faction or...
It was back in
I don't
early
even
May.
remember.
I don't remember when Faction Feud became a thing, but it might have been kind of before that.
If it was in May, that was really not too long after I started, because I started like in March, I think. Started playing in March. Like I'm at 306 days, something like that right now.
Yeah, so it was definitely in your early days. But that's like our claim to fame, that we once housed the great Guersan in our faction for a fleeting moment in time.
I have to concede defeat. He just sent me the screenshot. It is true.
Yeah, I got a fun fact for you.
What's that?
I never get any donations for my channel because people think I'm rich. So I never get any donations from anyone. My last donation that I got was on October 2nd. That's the last time anyone ever sent me money. And it was from a Vengeful One.
Oh, look at this.
That's the last donation I ever got.
That was the last one?
Yeah.
I'm honored and saddened at the same time.
I got 7 donations over the last 14 months.
Wow. You see, it's really a labor of passion for you.
$70 total.
Yes.
All right.
From the last from the last 14 months.
For anyone that's listening, Guersan, obviously we see the results of your work. Can you quantify in terms of hours per day how much effort you put into your YouTube channel?
It's probably somewhere between 6 to 10 hours a day.
All right,
that's
so 6
to
10 hours a day. That a lot of people, that's a full-time job.
If you want to quantify how much work it is, I can pretty much guide you through what a normal day is.
Sure.
And how labor intensive it is.
Please do.
I can't tell you the last time I sat down and watched TV.
Wow.
It's like, I was not kidding. Yesterday, I was editing video on one screen. I was watching a hockey game on my TV. I was playing Champions on the other screen, and I was playing Supercard on my left hand on my phone, and I was answering people here and there while I was doing that. I do not have the time to afford to do one thing at a time.
Wow.
My normal day is I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, take care of my kid, go to school, drop her off at 7:30. I got an hour to film videos, answer. Maybe if I have time, start editing them so they post throughout the day. Then I start working at 8:30. At 10:15, I got a break. I'm usually going to take those 15 minutes to answer a couple line messages. Then it's going back to work. At 12:30, I start eating. Well, I start making food while it cooks. I'm going to shoot the videos to be posted throughout the afternoon. I'm going to edit a couple of them to be posted then. Then it's back to work at 1:30. I'm going to be working up to 3:30. Then 15 minutes to answer a couple messages. Then back to work until 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I go pick up my kid. Then it's her homework, playing with her. 7 o'clock, bath time. Then she goes to bed. 7:30, I'm on, filming shit, answering people, and doing content, changing stuff. Usually going to end up doing that around midnight. Then I go to bed, gonna wake up 2-3 times during the night, usually gonna answer a couple messages right there. And then at 6 o'clock, less than 6 hours after going to bed, it's repeat for the previous days.
Wow.
I do not have free time.
This is a message to anyone listening to this podcast.
He's hacking.
Right, you clown. This is a message to anyone listening to this podcast right now. If you are listening, chances are you have enjoyed Guersan's work over the many months that he's been putting out YouTube content, or maybe he's even answered a question for you or helped you out in any way. I strongly ask you to consider a donation, however small it may be. Just as a way of supporting him and saying thank you. You know how much work now that goes into making this content. And I think anybody who has followed Guersan over this time should be able to safely say how much value he has added to not just your YouTubing experience, but just the experience of this game in general. So please do consider just a little something here and there, and maybe, just knowing that'll help fund maybe the next Megapole video that you get to enjoy. Please do consider helping this guy out.
It's a myth that it pays to do YouTube.
Oh, the ad revenue is not there at all.
It does if you have millions and millions of viewers.
Not with 4,000.
But at my size, it's not even $50 a month.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is actually screwing you. Because for the last couple of months, with the issues they had with advertising and everything, they have bots that automatically flags content as inappropriate or not. And for some reason, about 80% of my videos get flagged by that bot.
What?
And the first 24 to 48 hours of my video are not monetized. And that's where most of the 90% of the views.
Yeah.
The first 2 days. And the saddest thing is that every time I got to press the button that says, well, yes, my video does not break anything. It should be monetized. And then they manually review it. And within 2 days, it's usually back as being monetized. But by then, everyone saw it. So I'm not making anything out of it.
Yeah, because your content is very much timing oriented.
Yeah, totally.
Who wants to see a tour from 2 months ago?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's one thing that hurt me, that I actually had surgery, because I didn't post anything for about 24 hours, even though I did schedule a couple things to be posted because I knew it was coming, but I basically didn't have anything for 36 hours or so, and that took a big hit on my channel. I actually haven't recovered yet from that.
Oh wow!
Like all my stats dropped to about half of what they were before that. For that 36-hour period, I didn't do anything. So I really got to keep up the pace that I usually have if I want to go. Like this month, like I said, it's my biggest month yet. Like about a third of everything I did was from the last month. Ironically, I haven't made a single dollar in the last month because it also came when I was switching from being paid by Curse to being back paid by YouTube, because Curse pay you every week, not every week, but every month, whatever the amount of money you're making, while YouTube pays you once you make $100. Since I don't even make $50 a month, that meant I was getting paid every 2 months for about $100. So I switched to Curse, which take away 10% of your revenues for that. But in the end, I didn't feel like it was worth it. So after a month, I switched. But now YouTube has demonetized my channel and I need to be reapproved. But they have a whole queue. So basically, I haven't been monetized for a month.
Oh, man. So again,
it's my biggest month. So maybe I would have made $100, but I'll never see it because I'm making zero right now.
Yeah.
To pay for the pools for the last 6 months, I had to remortgage my house.
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Which I did about a month and a half ago.
Please donate, people.
I was paying like $300 a month in interest.
Man.
So I remortgaged the house to pay for that.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing to do anyway, to reduce your interest payments, but goodness. Again, please, if you're listening to this, you're a fan of his content, if it's enriched your gaming experience of this game in any way, please do consider, even just, you just heard how much YouTube, how much money he's making from YouTube. It ain't much. So whatever you want to donate is actually a pretty significant portion of the revenue that's coming in. So please do consider that. It's just, I believe strongly in supporting the creators that provide you entertainment. And this is one of the best ways that we can help this man out. So please do so.
It's been known that small to medium channels actually don't make their money from their views and from YouTube. It's from their donations. That's why you have Twitch streamers that make a fortune just from those donations. And if you're a guy, it's even worse because you don't have the pervs that send you big amount of cash.
Right.
If you're a girl, you're gonna make it. It's gonna. If you look great, you're gonna have a bunch of pervs that are gonna send you money. But if you're a guy, that doesn't work that way.
Guersan, maybe if you went to Twitch and brought back those tank tops, yeah. those beautiful hairy arms of your. Do the trick.
You might be on to something because the last donation I got was in October, and I think I got that shirt in November.
Okay,
so I stopped getting donation when I started.
I'm pretty embarrassed now.
When I hid in those guns.
Oh my god, my stomach!
You covered up the guns, and there.
Oh my god! Oh, that's funny to me.
It's about the same time. Maybe if I don't wear a shirt,
gotta bring back the 24-inch pythons.
Oh my god, man! This.
People think I'm rich, so that's why I'm not getting any donations.
Oh man!
Well, that and a lot of my viewers are really just can't afford donation, and I don't do this for money anyway. Obviously, I'd be stupid to do so at this point because it's clearly going the other way around. I'm going bankrupt doing it. I do it because I like it and because people care for it. That's why you'll never hear me ask for a donation. I never asked in any video. Obviously, the link is there in my videos if one ever cares to do so, but I'll never push for it.
Well, we can do that on your behalf. Donate to the guy, please.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much for lending us your time. You know how stacked your day is already, and we hope you have a great day.
Until you're in it, it's hard to know how much time it's going to take.
It's true. It is very true.